What's up, y'all? Got DraftKings sleeper picks for you here for week 9. Not too much this week. The pricing seems to be pretty legit on most of the players. Plus, there's a lot of tough matchups this week. A lot of the higher scoring teams are playing some tougher defenses. So here we go. I did find a couple here. Lamar Miller, $5,000. It's not really cheap, but he's playing a weak Denver rushing defense. They're in Denver, but I think that because Houston likes to run the ball, he should have a decent game and outperform that. Next, Isaiah Crowell. Now, he's always priced pretty cheaply. He's had games against some tough defenses the past 3 weeks, but he's playing Miami this week. I think he is going to get a decent game, probably get in the end zone and get a decent amount of yards. Latavius Murray playing Detroit. He's $5,100. That game should be controlled pretty well by Minnesota's defense or Minnesota's offense. I expect him to get in the end zone a few times, even though they like to throw it a lot more now. I think Murray's going to get some touches, and he's going to be able to get a chance to help run the clock out. Now, next I've got Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, they're playing Kansas City, so I don't expect him to get an extreme amount of touches, but Greg Williams is taking over as head coach. He's going to want to run the ball, especially against Kansas City. Nick Chubb for $3,800, I think is going to be well worth it against a Kansas City defense that's struggling. Next in that same game, I've got Spencer Ware. Now, because Cleveland's defense is not that great either, I expect them to mix it up with Kareem Hunt and Spencer Ware. Spencer Ware for $4,000, I think will probably get a few more touches than he normally does, being that they're playing Cleveland. Next, I've got John Brown with Pittsburgh. He's $5,800. They're playing, John Brown with the Ravens. They're playing at home against Pittsburgh for $5,800. He should outperform that. They've also got Willie Snead, Michael Crabtree. Snead's $4,200, Crabtree's $4,800. Both those are a little bit overpriced probably. One of them will probably outperform that price, but I'm not really sure which one. But I do think John Brown, he seemed to have emerged as the #1 guy in Baltimore, and this looks to be a pretty decently high-scoring game. Next, I've got Randall Cobb playing in New England for Green Bay, $4,600. Geronimo Allison is out this week, so that means Randall Cobb is going to be the de facto #2. He's listed as questionable, but they're expecting him to play. And he's that kind of quick, sneaky guy that can sneak through the New England defense that they're going to need to be able to get something done. So look for Randall Cobb there, $4,600. Next, Demaryius Thomas. Now, he just got traded to the Texans from the Broncos. And sure enough, the Texans are playing the Broncos this week. Now, because Will Fuller is hurt and Kiki Kuti is hurt for the Texans, Demaryius Thomas looks to step in and get some touches right away. And since he's going up against a defense he's familiar with, I think this might be a unique opportunity for him to show what he can do here in Denver and, you know, prove to them they should not have traded him. So for $4,500, Demaryius Thomas is probably going to be a pretty good pickup. Likewise, we've got Amari Cooper, who was just traded to the Cowboys. He's going to be playing, most likely going to get quite a few snaps, according to what Linehan has said. And they're playing Tennessee. He's $4,600, probably going to be the #2 or #1 guy. So I expect them to be forcing the ball to Cooper to see what he's made of. So you could probably take advantage of that one. Next, for tight ends, I've got a couple of guys. Jimmy Graham playing New England for Green Bay, $4,700. That's not really cheap, but I think he should outperform that because they're going to end up having to throw the ball. And New England would rather give that up and give up anything on the outside. Next, I've got Greg Olsen, $4,700 as well. He's playing at home against Tampa Bay. I expect him to be back to his old self. He's probably not going to be $4,700 for too much longer. He should have a good game today. Now, defensively, the only defense I really like is the Dallas defense playing Tennessee. They're $2,900. All the rest of the defenses are facing tough matchups or mismatches, or else they're not at home. The only other defense I think you might want to take a risk on is Miami's defense, $2,800 at home against the Jets. You're not taking the players as much as you are taking the weather and the home field advantage that the Dolphins have, as long as the weather is warm and the humidity is high. So that should have some effect on the Jets. If you want to bank on or go for an off the wall defensive pick there, I don't think a lot of people are going to have the Dolphins, but you know, it is a possibility that that's going to take over. They can get some interceptions, they get turnovers pretty well at home, and they may be able to make that happen against the Jets today.